Hello and welcome to this episode of 10 Minute Tones, where we take 10 real-time minutes and try to build up a preset from zero. In this week's episode, we are gonna work on the Bludojai Lead. This is another of the dumble-ish style amp models in the Fractal. So all the caveats I gave in the last video still apply. No one actually knows what a dumble-like sounds like unless you have one, and then it only sounds like that one. So the first thing that I do, I've never used this amp model before, by the way, other than like the few minutes I just played with it before hitting the record button. But I really have very little experience. And so the first thing that I do is I come here to the Fractal wiki page, and there's just a great summary of information from the forums and from elsewhere, tips and tricks on how to dial in the amps and just history about them. Even if I'm not trying to dial something in on the Fractal, if I'm in a different modeler, or even if I have a real amp, sometimes I come here because it's a really quick summary of like the history of an amp and kind of what you might want to dial in. Anyways, so interesting things to note here are that it pairs with the factory rumble cabinet, and this is old, so we'll try out the rumbles. And then here it also says G1265 speakers, and I know that the cabinet, the matched cabinet that kind of goes with this, comes with this amp, is a 212 with the G1265s in it. So we will definitely look for G1265s IRs, cabs in when we dial this in. And then another thing that I noted here, which we'll probably play with later, is it says if you want the amp to feedback effortlessly, raise the overdrive setting combined with the gain and make sure you have sufficient volume. Apparently it feeds back really easy, and you can get effortless feedback, it says. So we will test that and see if I can drive it loud enough in my little office here and not kill myself in doing so. So let's pull up the amp. Oops. There we go. Bludojai Lead. And then let's bring up the cabs. So the first thing was it said the rumble cabs work. And I know on my last video, Smelly Telly said, hey, you should have tried out the rumble cabs. So I guess this is what I should have tried out. So we're gonna give that a go. Well, I mean that sounds pretty good out of the box. Jeez. That actually usually I gravitate towards the 121. That actually sounds a little bit too dark in here, and I did not plug in my ears this time, so I apologize, but I'll try to see if I didn't feel like this was too bright here. Let's see. Okay. Way too dark, feels like. Way too dark as well. Okay, I actually like that 57. I think that 121 could work, but it feels maybe a little too dark. We'll see. Let's see what else there is for G1265. If I just search for that, what do we got? Okay, I have no idea where these cabs come from, but these are 212s, which the rumble cabs were 4x12. So this matches a little more what the actual amp would have come with or would have usually been matched with. So let me go with the 121 first, because that's always my first choice. Let's see what that sounds like. Cool. That feels very different. Less bottom end, but I probably would have dialed out some of that bottom end before too. Let's hear how the 57 sounds. Okay. There's something about the mid-range I don't like in this particular 121 cab, so I think I'm gonna stick with this one. Let's throw that rumble in the other one and just compare them. Sorry, the other cab. So let me solo this cab, and we'll go rumble. And we'll go rumble 57. We'll solo that. I can't decide which one I like more. What I'm hearing in the room is that the 212 is brighter, and this one has a little more bottom end. Yeah, I actually like the rumble. Thank you, Smelly Telly. I like the rumble better. Okay, hopefully that was bearable waffling between those two, but I find you got to play the same riff back to back, really short riffs, and compare. Your ears are only really good at comparing back to back. So, another thing that came up on this is that the master volume is very sensitive. There's a, what did it call? I feel like it said there was a treble bleed on here somewhere. So when you turn the master volume down, as you turn the master volume down, it will get thinner. There's a bright cap, treble bleed, bright cap on the master volume. So as you turn the master volume down, it will get thinner. So the default's 5. Usually I would just crank that up. Let's just crank it up. Let's just hear what 10 feels like. It feels good. Okay. Let's compare that. That's cool. That's cool. Ah, man, I'm gonna leave it on 10. I'm gonna leave it on 10. Out of here with that. Stop that. Maybe we split the difference. Let's hear what like 8 sounds like. No, I liked it on 10. I'm gonna leave it on 10. Let's see how crazy we can get. And actually, pictures that I've seen. Okay, this is supposed to be like Robben Ford, copy of Robben Ford. Pictures that I've seen, he runs the bright and the fat switch on that amp, on that ODS at the same time. Whether or not that's true, who cares? Maybe I just made that up. But feel like I've seen that in pictures, so I'm gonna turn that on. Let's hear the difference with fat on and off. So I'll turn it off. I'll try to play the same thing and I'll switch it on off. We'll hear what it sounds like. little harmonic there. What I'm feeling is just extra oomph, fatness, I guess, so appropriately named. All right, let's leave that on. We don't have any reverb, and I always do this. I make you guys listen to a direct sound with no reverb for 8 minutes, and then throw on a reverb at the very end. But here we go. I'm going to throw on a little plate. This sounds great, man. This amp is awesome. I definitely want to go play some blues now. Let's test really quick, see if we can make this thing go crazy. So it says you have to turn the overdrive all the way up. Let me see. You can't see, but I have the sound pressure level meter over here. I'm usually targeting between 80 and 90. Yeah, so we're like mid-80s, approaching 90 sometimes. That might not be enough to make this thing feedback, but we'll see. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I guess, just crank up the drive and the overdrive until it squeals, and we'll see what happens. So, yeah. Whoa, I'll edit that out. Okay, it'll squeal. It'll definitely squeal. I don't know how usable that is, but let's see if we can get something usable. It is squealing in here. That's cool. I bet if you tweaked around with this, let me just turn it up a little bit more in the room so that it'll be. Nope, it's just screeching. Okay, we'll leave that. I bet if you tweaked around with that, you could definitely get a more usable squeal. For me, it's just like, if I go over the edge, it's going crazy right now, and I'm gonna have to edit that out. But, okay, let's bring this back. Maybe push it up a little bit on both of them. Yeah, man, this amp, this model is insane. Super, super fun to play. Really squishy and creamy. And yeah, when I did the ODS before, I probably should have put more drive on because it seems like this has more gain on tap than that amp. And it seems like it's a completely different animal, honestly. So yeah, pretty cool to see these different options, and I forgot to start my timer on the right time, so I actually have no idea how long this video is, but hopefully you have enjoyed this. Please try out this amp and let me know what you think. I think it's pretty great. I'm gonna go practice some blues licks, and yeah, just remember, thank you so much for watching, and remember, if it sounds good, it is good.